That's a loaded question. Who am I? I am Tanae Jenkins. I am a recidivism strategist, a reentry expert, a TEDx speaker, an activist. I am the Florida State organizer for a nonprofit that's geared toward probation and parole. I'm a lot of things. But most importantly, I am an overcomer. Like, I'm an overcomer. I am a conqueror. I am not your status quo. That's who I am.
My name's Crystal, and I am a student. I am a manager. I am a mother, and I am someone who's previously incarcerated.
I am Kiana Malone, founder of Dear Black Girl, One Step Up Incorporated. I am also a two-time published author. I am a certified facilitator, life coach, and public trainer.
What experiences led me to this point? My past experiences with substance use and trauma led me to my incarceration. During my incarceration, I was in the LEAP program, and they taught me about trauma and addiction. They taught me workforce readiness, entrepreneurship, and with them, I finally had a community. When I started working for LEAP, Ladies Empowerment and Action Program, I really dug deep. I worked on my addiction. I started at Miami-Dade College for Human Services and Addiction Studies to become a counselor. I've been out for about 2 years, and I get to work with the ladies every day.
So the experiences that have led me to this point has been all types of childhood trauma. For one, I have experienced a lot of childhood trauma starting at the age of 14, just having to grow up super early, incarceration, and just being a statistic, childhood, parenting. I already said having to grow up too early, having a child at the age of 17, and just being what everybody thought that I couldn't be.
What experiences led me to this point? In 2010, I defrauded a financial institution and was sentenced to 2 years of prison, 5 years on probation. That 5 years of probation turned into 10 years. But I did 8 years on probation because I was able to pay my restitution off early. And my probation time and my prison time didn't bring me to this point. I did. Like, I did what I did. I made that mistake, right? But I had to realize that I was not a mistake and that I was worthy and I was enough. And when I realized that I was enough, then I was able to tell my story confidently and with so much vigor that people would listen. And so what brought me to this point was me being able to tell my story and let people know that, yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm not a mistake. 3 things that started me on my redemption process. I will say accepting what I did, number one, because I have to take ownership for whatever I did to put me in the situation that I because I put myself in that situation. Nobody else did, right? So I took ownership of my past mistakes. And then therapy. Therapy allowed me to work on things within myself and be able to see that I was more than enough and that I was worthy. Because society tells us that we are not worthy once we make a mistake or commit a crime and we are sentenced. But the thing is, a lot of people, most people are like one mistake away from being in the same situation I was in. They just didn't get caught. Number 3, in 2021, I decided to invest in myself. And I invested in myself because nobody else would. And me investing in myself and starting to tell my story took my power back. Like, it gave me my power back when others would tell my story and they would tell it wrong. And so I was like, I got to go back and fix these stories that's been misconstrued. And when I invested in myself, started to tell my story, things started to change.
3 things that started me on my redemption process. First would be working with LEAP. As soon as I was released, I was brought to the Dragonfly Thrift and Boutique 2 years later, I'm manager of the store, and I get to work with the women every day. I get to watch them build their confidence, their strength, and who they are. They build skills every day so they can get out there and get another job somewhere, and just be the best versions of themselves. Another thing that really, was a part of my redemption was me going to school for at Miami-Dade College for Human Services and Addiction Studies, really learning about my addiction, the addiction I see every day with the women I work with. Becoming a counselor and just support for those women is really meaningful to me. And then the third thing would be, I guess, just having the work to do. It's really hard when you're incarcerated and you come out and get told no a million times. I was released and 2 days later I was working. And here I am today.
3 things that started my redemption journey. One, I would say myself. I got sick of me. At some point, I got tired of proving everybody right. Knowing the things that I possess, I just got tired of me. The eyes of my son, realizing that he's always watching me no matter what the naysayers, the doubters, the family, the friends, anybody said, it was his eyes that I always had to come back to and look at, and they always held the most sincerity for me. So that is the second thing. And the third thing was just my faith. Always being a praying woman, even in adversity, setback, whatever, I always knew right or wrong, up or down, God was with me. And it was just a tugging from him yeah, it's time. And so those are the 3 things that kind of just started me on the journey, along with a plethora of other things. And I know you only asked me for 3, but the 4th one is just faithful friendships. I really had people that believed in me, and when I say faithful friendships, it wasn't really family, it was friendships that I developed into family, and so I felt like I owed them as well.
Why is a more than mindset important to me? Because when I was in prison, everyone told me I was less than, and I had to look beyond my circumstances. Because when you're in a situation, you're feeling that situation, you think that's the only situation it's ever going to be, but you have to look beyond that. And then you have to look to the future. And in order to look to the future, you have to be okay, I'm more than where I am right now. I'm more than this felon that they're calling me. I'm more than this mistake that they said I made. So being able to focus on the future allowed me to be okay, it's more than this out there. So let me go and get that more than. Let me shoot toward that more than, because I'm so much more than what they're saying I am.
So a more than mindset is very important to me because it's proof for me. It proves others wrong. Everybody is mostly looking at or paying attention to the less than. And so when we create that more than mindset, it helps us to just achieve. It helps us to achieve even when it's not a lot, when I can't see a lot, when I don't feel a lot. If my mindset is giving me more than, then achievement is inevitable.
More than mindset is important to me because it means I'm so much more than my past and my struggles, and there's so much work that can be done. There's so much work that I can do for these ladies. And if I just continue with that mindset that I am more than, I can be more than, they can be more than, I would definitely tell myself to hang in there, to hold on, do not give up. You are gonna have an amazing life. You are gonna love to come to work every day. You are gonna love to connect with the people that you connect with. And going through everything that you went through is what makes that possible.